A first-person written message from Pope Francis was shared Sunday as the leader of the Roman Catholic Church continues his hospitalization in Rome. I have recently received many messages of affection, and I have been particularly struck by the letters and drawings from children, Pope Francis posted on X Sunday. Thank you for your closeness, and for the consoling prayers I have received from all over the world. I urge you to continue your apostolate with joy and to be a sign of a love that embraces everyone, as the hashtag Gospel of the Day suggests, another post said. May we transform evil into goodness and build a fraternal world. Do not be afraid to take risks for love. The language was similar to part of Pope Francis' longer homily, which Archbishop Rino Fisichella read on his behalf while celebrating the Holy Mass for the Jubilee of Deacons on Sunday. Pope Francis had peaceful night's rest at hospital following respiratory crisis. Vatican says, brothers and sisters, happy Sunday, the Pope's homily began. This morning, in St. Peter's Basilica, the celebration of the Eucharist with the ordination of some candidates to the diaconate was celebrated. I greet them and the participants in the Jubilee of Deacons, which has taken place in the Vatican in these days, and I thank the dicasteries for the clergy and for evangelization for the preparation of this event. Pope Francis urged the deacons to continue your apostolate with joy and, as today's Gospel suggests, to be a sign of a love that embraces everyone, that transforms evil into goodness and engenders a fraternal world. Do not be afraid to risk love, the homily continued. On my part, I am confidently continuing my hospitalization at the Gemelli Hospital, carrying on with the necessary treatment, and rest is also part of the therapy. I sincerely thank the doctors and health workers of this hospital for the attention they are showing me and the dedication with which they carry out their service among the sick. In the pre-prepared statement, Pope Francis added that Monday will be the third anniversary of the large-scale war against Ukraine, a painful and shameful occasion for the whole of humanity. As I reiterate my closeness to the suffering Ukrainian people, I invite you to remember the victims of all armed conflicts, and to pray for the gift of peace in Palestine, Israel, and throughout the Middle East, Myanmar, Kivu and Sudan, the message said. Pope Francis' medical condition, what to know about bilateral pneumonia. In recent days, I have received many messages of affection, and I have been particularly struck by the letters and drawings from children, the Pope added. Thank you for this closeness, and for the prayers of comfort I have received from all over the world. I entrust you all to the intercession of Mary, and I ask you to pray for me. The Vatican said Pope Francis was conscious, but still receiving high flows of supplemental oxygen on Sunday, following a respiratory crisis and blood transfusions. He remains in critical condition with a complex lung infection. The Holy See Press Office's brief statement early Sunday did not mention if Pope Francis was out of bed or eating breakfast, which it had on previous days. The night passed quietly, the Pope rested, it said. The Vatican later said Francis was conscious, continuing to receive supplemental oxygen and that further clinical tests were being conducted. A more detailed medical update was said to be later Sunday. The 88-year-old Pope was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on February 14 due to a worsening case of bronchitis. On Saturday, doctors said Pope Francis, who had part of one lung removed as a young man, was in critical condition after suffering a prolonged asthmatic respiratory crisis while being treated for pneumonia and a complex lung infection. The Pope received high flows of oxygen to help him breathe through a nasal tube. He also received blood transfusions after tests showed low counts of platelets, which are needed for clotting, the Vatican said in a late update. The Saturday statement also said that the pontiff continues to be alert and spent the day in an armchair, although in more discomfort than yesterday. Doctors said the prognosis was reserved, and that the Pope's condition is touch and go, given his age, fragility, and pre-existing lung disease. His condition has revived speculation about what might happen if he becomes unconscious or otherwise incapacitated, and whether he might resign.